Karmelo Anthony has been sentenced to 35 years in prison. Thank fucking God. As soon as he got the white jury, as soon as that happened, I knew he was basically screwed. Because blacks will literally vote for their own. When they were interviewing for the juries, every single black one that they did, which they went through quite a few hundred of the interview for the jury trial, right? Every single black was just like, oh, I don't want to put our brother in jail. And now we're getting into the reactions of the verdict and, well, the trial in general. Let's watch this as a Michelle Obama put, this quiet, demure, a black woman who hides her pain. Michelle Obama actually says that black women have to hide their pain and they're very quiet individuals. I'm not joking. Yeah, let's watch this woman do the exactly same thing. With the Michael Kors bag too. Oh my God. Once again, I'm pretty sure that money did not go to the lawyer.
Racist, bias, that a white person can get a black boy and get away.
That's it.
Yeah. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
They send a message. Yeah.
We love y'all.
It ain't the end of the road.
We love y'all.
That's his uncle.
Racist, bias, yeah. We know the truth.
She's fucking looping. Which, for those who don't know, NWAs have this behavior where they short circuit from their 15 seconds of thinking and they just repeatedly say the same thing over and over and over again. It's actually a word within the Urban Dictionary called black looping because it's so common when they do this. Notice how almost all these NWAs are super overweight too. I did a video on the pineapple Kool-Aid, but then somebody was just like, well, I don't understand. It's just our culture. What's wrong with them putting pineapple and Kool-Aid together? Yes, it's disgusting. This is just unnecessary racism. And it's like, that's my tax dollars. That's why I'm racist. Because look how chubby everyone is. Before the guilty verdict here, the family members of Karmelo Anthony assaulted Elijah Schaffer and his crew. They threw water bottles at him and threatened him with violence and tried to get him away from there.
Free Karmelo. You guys support Karmelo? Yes? Yes? We're just here with press just to record and talk to you guys and see what's going on. Okay.
Once again, notice how all the women are overweight and only the black dudes are relatively fit. Probably because they need to be fit for all the gang violence that they can perform.
Okay. It's a free country. You're in public. You're in public. Okay. Okay. Well, you're in public. I'm just asking. Yeah.
Bitch, go!
Oh, Jesus Christ! Remember, these are innocent creatures that like to hold back their pain and be very quiet, according to Michelle Obama.
Whoa.
Hey, move the camera, bro. They don't want to.
It's free speech. It's free speech. Why are you throwing stuff at us? Yeah, why are you throwing stuff at us? What the hell is that? All right, well, they're throwing water bottles at us while we're recording. By the way, there's signs right here that says, self-defense is not a crime. Karmelo Anthony should do no time. And there's also this sign right here says hands off. And this sign says, we stand with you. I believe it's about Karmelo as well.
I like how this is self-defense when everything is proving the fact that it was not self-defense whatsoever. But when it comes to Kyle Rittenhouse, there are large swaths of the black community that I legitimately believe Kyle Rittenhouse killed the 3 black men. For the record, he did not kill any black men. Only one person died. Another person was shot in the arm. And one of them was a wife beater. One of them was a rapist. And another one was a pedophile, if I remember correctly. And they were trying to murder him with a skateboard when he shot them. That is 100% a case of self-defense. They're completely different stories.
And you'll see a picture right here of Karmelo Anthony. These are pictures probably from his Instagram. Self-defense is not a crime. So that's basically with the tensions being high here. You can see, I mean, we're not here to support anybody, but we're already having things thrown at us. Well, we don't have...
Going into the enclosure and expecting not to be harangued, I'm not a fan of doing the start things, to be honest. Well, that's the thing. That's the point he's trying to prove here. Is that with Karmelo Anthony, he was not supposed to be at that school. He was not supposed to be under that tent. And he was asked to leave. And he refused to leave and stabbed Austin. Here, Elijah Schaffer, despite not being the best, went to the tent. He is being very violently asked to leave, and he is walking away. Is he stabbing them in so-called self-defense or being asked to leave? No, that's the point that he's trying to stay here. And here they are yelling at him, threatening him, throwing water balls at him, and he's not stabbing them in response.
To do that.
Angry and upset. His family members over there.
Okay.
So you're agitated.
Oh, those are family members.
You're agitated.
Okay, cool. We'll come back. Yeah, you're good. All right, well, we don't have to go, but basically...
At least she was trying to kind of calm things down. Those family members are not exactly making a good point for themselves now, are they?
What you see here, the same problem you're gonna see completely every single time is that people who support Karmelo kind of know he's guilty and he's gonna go to prison.
Karmelo Anthony supporter says Karmelo should have killed Austin's twin brother Hunter as well. And the Karmelo group agrees with her, which remember, this is supposedly, well, this is back to the woman that looks like she's gonna murder you. Supposedly, based off the Lida video, this is like from the family members of Karmelo. So clearly, it runs in the family. And supposedly agreeing with somebody saying, oh, Hunter also should have died as well. Yeah, but yes, free Karmelo.
They should have both been arrested.
I like how the guy just kind of like, they should have both been arrested, knowing that the female baboon is going a little bit too far. Because remember, usually women have lower IQs than the men do. Both should have been dead if you ask me. Well, thanks for submitting it. And then more supporters. What do I tell my 5 boys? What do we do now? I don't know. Maybe don't murder white kids for no reason?
What do you want us to do? That's right. What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more.
Well, 1, I'm very curious to know if the 5 boys are all from the same father. 2, I also want to know how many crimes those 5 boys have done. And 3, tell them don't murder.
They ain't walk away no more.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin.
Let me ask you this right now. I hear.
What do you?
They're trying to make it out to be Karmelo, some innocent angel that didn't do nothing when he literally committed murder. They so, honest to God, believe that he is an innocent boy. They refuse to actually see logic and the truth behind it. And they want to just be perpetual victims here. But then again, they don't really care. She doesn't actually want to tell her 5 boys, not the, murder whites. Because they actually really want to murder whites. Y'all want to play these games, fuck white lives, how about that?
White lives don't matter?
Man, fuck white lives. How about that? I'm saying that. Because y'all want to play these games? Y'all want to play these crackhead games, so I'm going to play them. Fuck white lives. How about that? How about that? I hate white people. I like pussies.
White people act like pussies. You want to know why white people, quote unquote, act like pussies to them? Is because we don't immediately escalate things into violence. Whenever they feel disrespected, they immediately have to correct it with violence. Because that's the only thing they can actually understand. And so white people trying to de-escalate, not trying to throw the first punch or the first stab, by walking away, by trying to talk things through, well, whatever the case is, by not actually going to violence first to solve their conflicts, that's why they consider white people pussies. That's why they don't respect them. And if white people do try to push back in any way, shape, or form, maybe by saying the N-word, for example, because they get a little bit heated there, which once again, it's a word in an actual violence, they immediately take that as their calling card to, well, chimp out. Because everything goes by the lens of violence to them. This guy has balls of steel trying to go up to this end wall. There's a head higher than him. The hug. Once again, trying to show that they're peaceful. Be like, trust me, bro. Like, we're not pussies. We all want to get along, hold hands, and kumbaya. And this black guy does not give a flying fuck whatsoever.
I'm holding this up. That's it. I'm holding this up. This guy holding this up. You know why
this is once again proving my point that I've said so many times on streams. You don't see color. Color sees you. It's that simple. No matter how much you want to have peace with them, You literally cannot. Because if this guy with the long dreads here had the chance, you know he would totally be stabbing him in the chest instead. It's that simple.
You're acting surprised because you're black and fine with a white face. You know why
That's holding a sign.
I'll be honest, the last 10 seconds of this, I can't understand anything anyone's saying. There's so much chanting and yelling happening here. And this infamous video of this black lady, holy shit. This might explain why fatherlessness is such an epidemic in the black community. Imagine waking up to this in the morning because you forgot to take out the trash the night before.
I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion here.
Just like Karmelo was doing. I'm glad you just said that. That's what Karmelo was doing. Protecting his motherfucking self.
I can also barely understanding from the screeching. Another black woman who's overweight. Just look at those facial reactions from this woman. We are one race, the human race. We all bleed the same color here. Oh, there are no difference between us, the white European descendants, versus the descendants of African slaves. Oh, we got even more reactions here too. I forget who he was. He was trying to be like the legal representative for the Karmelo Anthony family. And he's back again.
On behalf of myself, Minister Dominique Alexander, I speak on behalf of myself as president of the Next Generation Action Network. The Next Generation Action Network wanted to respect this process, to be able to make sure that nobody said that the Next Generation Action Network obstructed this process, interfered in this process. But what this process did is shown that black lives do not matter in Collin County.
Well, maybe black lives would matter if he stopped murdering people senselessly.
It showed us that time and time in American history, it has shown us to remove emotions from yet the law. It has
Actually, no, from time to time it shows us again that there's a reason why lynches existed. Lynchings weren't actually all that common, but they were a good way for the community to handle cases of egregious murders and rape versus going through the arduous trial system that we have.
Shown us that black life is not safe in Collin County. It showed very clearly that a black boy was allowed not one black soul on a jury.
Well, maybe those black souls shouldn't have straight up admitted that they could never convict the brother, and he looks like an innocent boy and he didn't do nothing. They literally said that when they were interviewing them for the jury.
All white jury. Black America should be very upset about what went on today.
This was a
Black America should be very upset for what happened today. They want more fiery but peaceful protests that happen for Karmelo, an actual legit murderer. But at least with George Floyd, there's a slight excuse for it because the camera angles really didn't make it look like he had his knee in the neck. He did not, by the way. Karmelo is not that. He's just a straight up murderer. There's this orangutan again. Then there's got this black guy there just dancing around. You have a old white guy with American flag shirt just standing there very stoic with the monkeys chimping out and dancing around, making mockery of him. They're trying to do like some weird African tribal dancing too. Just like basically trying to grind on him. Is this like sexual assault? Putting his hands and where his dick's at? This is just fucking gross. And then Jasmine Crockett, who is a representative, showcasing her 85 average IQ. It's also important to point out when the official representatives that manage to get far enough to try to actually change law are part of the problem too.
Black women, especially black women who have black male children, live in fear and agony every single day. A fear and agony that I promise you, the Metcalfs probably never spent a day living that way.
The black women that bred with other blacks and don't have fathers in their home, with their black sons that go out and rape and murder and commit more little in-laws to be free, that are paying for their junk food with my tax dollars, are paying for their health care on my tax dollars, that are paying for their housing on my tax dollars, that are clearly extremely overweight and very loud and disrupting society and committing multiple crimes, also on my tax dollars, have never, ever, have a horrible lives, much worse lives than the Metcalf family, who, despite the parents being divorced, were still of upper middle class status. They had 2 twin sons that looked like they were on the up and up, and everything was going fine and dandy, until one day one of them was stabbed senselessly by an in-law. Yes, a regular black woman that are living their lives with my tax dollars don't know the same exact pain as losing their son from a senseless murder like this, even though gang violence is clearly part and parcel of their culture here. And then today, she was put for an interview to show her, to once again demonstrate her IQ even further.
Rep Crockett, you might have seen that Karmelo.
Look at that low IQ stare. That like her fake eyelashes are about to fucking fall off too. She can't even do her makeup right.
Anthony was sentenced to 35 years. I want to get your reaction to the trial and the verdict.
My heart breaks for so many reasons. And so I was just speaking to a student that is shadowing me who wants to be a public defender, and so it takes me back to what actually made me decide to get into this legislative work in the first place, because I know that our systems are broken. And what we saw with that verdict is the evidence of a broken system. Now listen.
How is it a broken system when it was a very clear and cut case of just senseless murder? There's video evidence. There's multiple testimonies. The only thing you can maybe say is there's no black juries, people on the jury. But once again, they literally ousted themselves by showing they're going to be biased on racial lines. So that's why they weren't involved. If anything, it's actually the system working properly for once. It's a miracle.
From everything that I understand, which I wasn't at the trial because obviously I got a day job, but it's my understanding that Karmelo ended up stabbing, puncturing, I don't know what this tool was that they...
Bitch, this case has been going on for over a year and you still don't know the finer details and you want to talk about it? Like, I get you don't have to know absolutely everything here, and I'm not going to pretend to know absolutely everything about the case either. The fact that you, a representative who's trying to talk about how the poor black community is affected, you should at least know what the fact that he was stabbed with a knife.
Talk about knife, or some refer to it as a tool. He ended up hitting Austin one time, and it was about where he hit him. One time, 2 inches. This wasn't someone...
One time is enough to kill somebody, you dumb fucking bitch.
Who said, hey, let me stab you 5, 6, 7 times. And so when you're looking at the punishment range, there's a reason in Texas that it goes from 5 to 99 or life, because you are looking at how intentional, like how bad was this? 35 years for a kid who had decided to go...
He was 17, almost 18 years old. Like, he turned 18 only a couple months after this originally happened. But there's also a reason why it's possible to charge teens that are 16, 17 years old as adults, because at that point, it's recognized that you should have the mental capacity and know better not to fucking murder somebody in cold blood at that age.
Under a tent that was not his team's tent as it was raining, and simply didn't want to be put out in the rain by some random kid that he did.
Okay, too fucking bad. It was not his school. He was not supposed to be there. The tent was specifically for the track members. The people watching the track meet were supposed to sit on the sidelines anyways and suffer in the rain. He's no fucking different. But no, he wanted to be different. He stabbed Austin for it.
No, who was larger than him. Listen, a lot of people don't know what it is to live as a black person in this country, but just like you can give the benefit of the doubt to so many police officers when they go out and they shoot some black unarmed person, even though they are trained.
Yeah, see, Black Lives Matter and the police body cams have actually destroyed that narrative too. Every single time that is a didn't do nothing, innocent, unarmed person, trust me, they were being violent and resisting arrest. So not even a fair comparison here.
The fact that there was little to no mercy seen or humanity seen when this black boy said that I was scared, or the fact that honestly anybody else who...
He's scared of being punished. He's 17 and he's crying about being punished like he's 5 years old. He didn't cry when he got arrested. He didn't cry in trial. He only cried when he got his punishment. That's the only time he ever fucking cried this whole ordeal, was when the punishment was being laid out in front of him. He has been dead-eyed and soulless this entire time until the punishment was doled out. Spare me your crocodile tears.
Did something with such a small object. All I know is that it wasn't considered unlawful carrying of a weapon because the blade was not long enough. That they wouldn't even say, well, maybe this was more so something that looked like manslaughter.
Well,
okay, so the jury did have the possibility of lowering the sentence to manslaughter. When you get into a fight with somebody and you shove them, and you shove them so hard that they fall to the ground and crack their skull open. That's a manslaughter there. Actively stabbing somebody when it's not self-defense is just murder. There's no manslaughter there. Just subversive language. What do you expect? She's a black woman and a communist. Because even though we don't believe her and we can call her out and make fun of her, the people in the black community will support her and believe everything she's saying because she's one of them. And also, it's not just the blacks, by the way. There are Hispanics and Asians that support this too because they hate whitey. The nuns hate whites almost just as much as the blacks do. So keep that in mind.
Some people might say, why are you even bringing a knife like that to a track meet?
Yeah, people may say that, but walk a day in my shoes and then respond. Because we as black folks say,
a day in my affluent shoes as a representative in Congress. Bitch, I wish I was rich as you. Then again, I would have a low IQ. So, meh.
Why is it that people need long-armed guns when we are going out and having a First Amendment protest? But people say that's their right. They are allowed to do that. And again, it wasn't against...
Is she trying to bring Kyle Rittenhouse into this? Look at the fiery but peaceful protests of Black Lives Matter were not free speech. They were literally burning down and destroying property. Kyle Rittenhouse was not at work that day, but he went there to defend the property of his job because he liked his job and was on good terms with his boss. And he shot those three in self-defense because they're trying to beat him with a skateboard. Once again, one was a pedophile, one was a wife beater, and one has sexual assault claims on him. None of them were black. This is not the same thing.
The law for him to have it. It may have been prohibited by school rules, which he wasn't at his school at the time. But it's...
Okay, he wasn't at his school at the time. That further proves the point too. It wasn't his school, wasn't his tent, wasn't supposed to be there. That's why he was being kicked out. And he refused to leave, and then he refused to leave and stabbed him. Like, she's literally defeating her own argument.
Definitely was not against the law.
So you think race played a role in the verdict?
It's against the law for stabbing somebody, you dumb bitch.
Oh my God. I know Collin County. So absolutely. Collin County is right north of Dallas County. And I can tell you that I have had cases that I felt like played out differently because of the counties that they were in. And unfortunately, that was not the county for a black boy.
So if this were a
affluent black boy who still stabbed an affluent white boy
in his exact same position, you don't think he'd get a 35-year sentence?
I would guarantee you it wouldn't have happened. I don't even know if he would have been convicted, because if a white boy would have said that they were afraid of a black boy, something tells me that that jury that didn't have any black people on it, they would have believed him.
Yeah, he would have believed him because statistically, the black is actually going to cause more harm, literally in this fucking case, who has proven that the black is more dangerous and violent than the white boy is. There's more justification to be scared of the black when 1 in 3 black men are felons, when we had the 1350 statistic, when literally Austin shoved him and Karmelo brought out a knife that he was carrying his backpack for some fucking reason. I know some people might get a little bit upsetty with this argument here, and I understand why, because I am for the Second Amendment here. But you have to ask, why did the black boy, Karmelo, have a knife in his backpack? Why did he actually bring it to a school meet? You can say, oh, it doesn't really matter, he has the right to carry it, and I would agree with it. But you kind of have to ask these sort of questions here when schools usually don't even allow you to carry any weapons. It can be against that too, and I understand why, and I actually agree with you. But you kind of have to wonder the logic here. It really seems like he was asking him for trouble and wanted just to murder somebody. Because who actually brings a knife, of all things, into a school?
In his sphere.
Well, there's so many different opinions on this case. I mean, even your Republican colleague, Randy Fine, I mean, he's saying that he should get the death penalty. Your take on that?
Again, racism.
Again, racism. Death penalty for a murderer is not racism. But, of course, she doesn't care that she's a black activist, first and foremost. That's all she cares about, and that's all she ever will care about when anything like this. To expect any truthful, honest answers from her would be foolish. But remember, the reason why it's important to call this out and present this is because she's a representative of Congress. She's the one making rules and regulations on us, regular people, including white people that she so desperately hates and wants to cry racism again. But she supports those like these guys who are saying you want to play this game, fuck these white lives. Like, what about that? She's the one supporting the one saying that Hunter, Austin's twin brother, should have died as well. She's the one supporting the family for kicking Elijah from going away from the tent, proving literally the fucking point here. She's the one supporting these people, saying Karmelo is innocent and free, literally saying that herself, basically. And they might be chimping out, they might be fat and diabetes and drinking the pineapple Kool-Aid here. But at the end of the day, no matter how low class or how high class they are all the same. And you cannot negotiate with them, you cannot talk to them, you cannot make them see facts and reality. Even if she can actually understand these concepts, she will still be tribalistic first and foremost for the black race because she's on a mission. And these are too low IQ to understand because they're just tribalistic to the core. Emotional thinking. 85 IQ average with no frontal lobe and can't think 15 seconds ahead. There is no debating with them. There is no talking to them. There is no holding hands together and singing kumbaya. It is literally just a race war. And you, white man, need to figure out what you want to do about it.